It's a blessing and an opportunity, changing the face of the Catholic Church. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops says the growing number of Catholic Hispanics and Latinos in parish communities makes them more welcoming and vibrant. But are they finding the ministries and leadership that they need? To address these issues and more, the bishops of the United States are launching the initiative Fifth Encuentro of Hispanic Latino Ministry. The theme, Missionary Disciples, Witnesses of God's Love. As Kathy Harrington reports, the Diocese of Springfield is very much involved in the process.
It is my hope that the Church in your country at every level will accompany the Encuentro with its own reflection and pastoral discernment.
Calling on Hispanic Catholics in the United States to be a part of the Encuentro, Pope Francis delivered his message to show his support for the multi-year effort.
The process of the Encuentro starts with a parish level Encuentro. From there we will move to the diocesan Encuentro, and from the diocesan Encuentro we go to the regional Encuentro, and ultimately we go to the national Encuentro. Now, our own bishop, Bishop Mitchell Rosansky, is very much also involved, and I know there's going to be some meetings, big meeting coming up from now until the Encuentro itself, and then there will be some sort of a big conference with the Pope.
Taking the pulse of the community and assessing how Hispanic and Latino Catholics are ministered, every word will be documented and shared.
That's one of the purposes of the fifth national Encuentro that's going to happen, is to get the Latino community. But we don't want to say that it's only or specifically for the Latino community, but it's for the Catholic at large.
This night is a fundraiser for the diocesan V Encuentro team, who will travel to the national conference next year. Guests arriving at the Castle of Knights in Chicopee were greeted like family. Nearly 300 people gather for dinner and dancing.
I think it's a treasure there in the Latino community. We are very family-oriented, very tied to our religion.
Rigo Serrano is a member of Our Lady of Guadalupe Church in Holyoke. In the United States, Hispanics make up 40% of Catholics. Serrano says an increase in vocations is needed.
Not only because I'm a Catholic, but also because I believe the need of young priests, deacons from the Latino community will represent not only the community, but they will serve the role models for our youth.
That's because more than 50% of Catholics under the age of 35 are Hispanic. Serrano sees the future in the youth.
I think the best way to keep our community together spiritually and also culturally will help us is we can definitely help youth to engage more in the Catholic Church, especially in leadership positions like priesthood and deaconship and all of that.
4,500 parishes from across the country, including many in the Diocese of Springfield, serve Hispanic Catholics with masses and ministries held in Spanish. One of them is Our Lady of Częstochowa in Turners Falls. More than 100 years ago, the church was founded to serve Polish immigrants. Now its ministries draw new immigrants living in the Franklin County town.
Over the last 20 years or so, there's been quite a growth of people who speak Spanish in our community. The sisters came exactly at the right time, because we had been doing some outreach, but the sisters, being native Spanish speakers, can do the outreach and formation.
The sisters also serve Our Lady of Peace Parish. Going door to door in outreach are the missionary sisters from Mexico. Understanding their shared culture, they visit with the families evangelizing in Spanish.
The Pope now is very much instinct in calling for awakening a missionary church, participating in a missionary church.
Serving the diocese since 2008 as a temporary mission assignment, the Missionary Sisters of Perpetual Help were invited to stay by then Bishop Timothy McDonnell.
In the diocese we had been in Amherst, in Pittsfield. It had been for a little long time there. They were for 2 years. 2 years in Pittsfield. Then in Springfield itself, in the several parishes, Blessed Sacrament, Holy Name Parish.
I believe we're not just a melting pot, because if everybody melts, you just get smush. I believe that we're a mosaic, and that every person and every community, every culture has something to bring.
Defining best practices, making resources available for parishes, increasing the sense of belonging, and encouraging more participation across all areas of the Catholic Church. The results of Encuentro could change the American Catholic Church for decades to come. For Real to Real, I'm Kathy Harrington.
And the 5th Encuentro is scheduled to meet in September of next year in Fort Worth, Texas. Currently, the Diocese of Springfield expects to send a delegation of 6 to participate in this national conference. And the important work of ministry in the Latino community is just one of the many worthwhile causes supported by the annual Catholic Appeal. The 2017 campaign is now underway, and we need to hear from everyone. Countless neighbors right here in Western Massachusetts depend on your generosity to the annual Catholic Appeal. So make your donation right now online at diospringfield.org. And we thank you in advance. Just a reminder, this show is also a beneficiary of your support of the annual Catholic Appeal.